Hello, photographers, designers, and other creative freelancers. Welcome to this episode of Coaching for Creatives. I'm McKay, and I am the founder of Business of Creativity, and I am your host. And this conversation is going to talk about how tiny changes can yield big results. Everything is not awesome. I talk a lot about how we need to focus on the evidence of awesome. I guide people to look for the small wins and celebrate the progress. I generally show up with an optimistic, energetic, positive outlook on the world. And the truth is, that's not always how I feel. The truth is, there are some times when I feel down and sad or unmotivated or overwhelmed. And right now is the time of the year when I know a lot of you are feeling the same way. I just did a big workshop around focus, clarity, and action. It's a workshop that I typically offer at least twice a year. It's a great opportunity for getting supported and being in community while you set some goals and you look at your dreams. I had people come to the workshop and then just send me private notes to say, hey, I just can't do it. It feels too big. It feels too overwhelming. And I get it. This morning in the Business Accelerator Mastermind community, we had some of our members show up and just not be motivated and not be excited and almost feel a little bit guilty about it. There's all this pressure to show up in our lives and show up in our businesses, to have the positive can-do attitude. Especially this time of year, there's a lot of pressure to make big, grand, sweeping changes, to set these aspirational, audacious goals, to make these big resolutions. It's all about what are your big goals? What are your big dreams? And it can feel, frankly, like too much. So I just really want to let you know that if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling unmotivated and you have a case of the why bothers and it's not really going to work out anyway, I hear you. You are not alone. And here's the deal. I'm a big believer that the only way through emotions and feelings is to go through those emotions and feelings. I hereby give you permission to feel those feelings, to express those feelings in a safe place and in a safe way that works for you. One of the things that I offer my clients is something called an emotional dump. It's kind of part of our daily practice. It is the first thing that we do when we get up in the morning, is to just have a quick look at what you're bringing to your day. And if what you're bringing to your day is fear and uncertainty and exhaustion and frustration, then using that time to go through an emotional dump and just let it all out. That is one of the greatest ways that you can move through feeling your feelings. For some people, things are going great, which is awesome, and congratulations. And this week's episode still has some fantastic tips for you. But if things are not going great, if you are struggling with things in your business or your own sort of personal gremlins and demons in the world, I hear you. You are not alone. And my invitation to you, or what I offer, is that if you're finding that you're feeling this way consistently, that it isn't something that comes and goes or ebbs and flows, if you're finding that the way that you're feeling emotionally is starting to impact other areas of your life and impact your ability to participate fully, then that's a really good indication that there's more than just feeling the feelings that happens. And I encourage you to reach out and ask for support, connect with a counselor, connect with a therapist, connect with somebody you really trust to help guide you through that. You don't have to do it alone. You really don't have to do it alone. Having said all of that, there are gremlins that come and get us. And sometimes when we're in the midst of all of that, it can be really hard to think about things like goals and results, and especially big goals and big results. Here's what I want to offer you. Tiny changes and tiny actions can yield to big results. First, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm a big science fiction fan, and I saw a meme or something like that on Facebook the other day that talked about time travel. And every time you see any stories about time travel, there's always these warnings and caveats and be really careful and make sure you don't meet yourself, or be sure you don't change history or change the timeline. And there's this concern that one little minor thing could disrupt the entire past and therefore maybe even the future. And there's always this sort of warning around this butterfly effect from these little tiny things. So I ask you, when was the last time that you got really concerned and like, okay, be really careful, because if you smile at someone today, you might change the whole future? It's amazing how easy it is for us to believe that changing one thing in the past might have an incredible ripple effect on the past. And check in with yourself to see whether you believe that making a small, tiny change in the present could have a ripple effect on your future. And by tiny change, I mean something that takes you less than 120 seconds, less than 2 minutes to do. That is just a minor, very minor thing that you do differently that will then change everything. There is a great video on YouTube about the power of the domino effect, where a tiny 1 millimeter domino, by moving that 1 millimeter domino a very tiny amount, ends up toppling I think it's a 1 ton domino at the end. Like how something so small can eventually change something so big. So tiny changes for big results, tiny things. It might be as simple as starting a morning practice in the morning. It might be as simple as brushing your teeth after you have your coffee so you feel fresher and more present. It might be as simple as putting on clean clothes. There are so many tiny things that you can do to make big changes. The other part about this that I wanted to say was not only tiny changes for big results, but the idea that, okay, everything might not be awesome right now. And for a lot of people, it is less awesome than others. And for some of us, things are going great. But the idea that you look out in the world and the feeling that everyone wants to save the world, everyone wants to be the hero, or everyone wants to be able to be the one who made those big changes, but nobody wants to do the dishes. This comes from a post that was a Buddhist monk sharing the idea that so many of us think that the only way that we can make an impact, or the only way that we can make a difference for ourselves and for others, is by doing something huge and grand, a big gesture, a big change. But really, smiling at a stranger, saying you're welcome, nodding and smiling as you pass people on the street, taking a moment to really listen to someone. All of these very tiny things can make such a difference in both how you feel about yourself and how other people feel interacting with you. My challenge to you is, what is one tiny little change, one action that you could take that would take even less than 2 minutes that may have an amazing effect on your life or your business? And here's a hint. You could, for 2 minutes, just write down and brainstorm ideas about what those might be. I'm encouraging you that even though I'm a huge fan of big goals and big dreams, I know that it can take a lot to be in the place or in the space of being able to think about big goals and big dreams. You don't have to have big goals and big dreams to make big changes in your life and big changes in the world. You just have to take small actions in that direction. Small, tiny changes for big results. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am McKay. This was your episode of Coaching for Creatives. I look forward to serving you again soon. Thank you so much.